I'm in the mood to get some story done. Huh. Joy-Con desynced for a second. That was weird. Alright. Cyrus, Chapter 4. Let's see. Still in pursuit of the Forbidden Tome, you journey to Duskbarrow and ever closer to the truth. Doesn't really scream finale, but we'll see. The story so far. And so, Cyrus' search for the ancient tome led him to Stoneguard, where Headmaster Yvonne lay in wait. Using the forbidden blood magic gleaned from those pages, he aspired to powers unholy and profane. But Yvonne, more demon than man at the end, met his demise. Preposterous! I am all-powerful, I am eternal, immortal! They were all lies. Such were his last words. But who lied to him? What was their ultimate aim? Was Cyrus fully prepared to face the truth that awaited him? A foreboding shadow fell over him as he came to Duskbarrow.
Time to do some research.
And here we are. Somewhere in this town lies the headmaster's ultimate destination. Given the nature of his research, it is reasonable to assume that there is a secret laboratory of some sort. We'll get to the bottom of this no matter what. That's the headmaster's assistant, Lucia, was it? Now that I recall, she disappeared after that incident at the headmaster's house. What's her role in all this? I must not let her out of my sight. She went into the secret place. Follow Lucia. But she was just here. Where could she have gone? It's a door. It's an obvious door. We just don't know how to open it. What's this? A button of sorts. Should I press it? Oh, hell yeah!
I see.
Nothing happened. Should've known it wouldn't be that simple. Let's examine it again. I guess don't press it? Maybe I should pull it instead. Sure. I must be losing my wits. How does one even go about pulling a button? You just gotta use your fingertip strength and just grip the outsides of it. Smash it, pull it, twist it, ignore it. Smash it. It's probably twist, but...
It couldn't be.
Heaven forbid, that would quickly put an end to any further trial and error. Okay, that doesn't have any unique dialogue. Give him the old button twist.
Aha!
Well, this is a turn. I should proceed with caution. Enter. Explore the ruins of Eld in the village.
Oh.
Color me impressed, Professor. To what are you referring? Finding the hidden door back there. It was no great thing. I enjoyed coming up with little theories and then testing them. It's a useful talent. If you ever have a mind to switch trades, you could make a go of thievery. Me, a bandit? Now that would be amusing. But if I do fall into hard times in the scholarly world, I shall apply to become your apprentice. I hate to disappoint you, but I'm not the teaching type. I learn by watching and doing. Observation and practice, in other words. That is the essence of all learning. If you ever took it upon yourself to become a scholar, I would certainly vouch for you. I appreciate the offer, but I think I'm allergic to academia. No, if you caught me when I was still young, things might have been different. Shika. Mysterious ruins. Let's see, what support skills do you currently have? That works.
Flame, protect us!
We see these things so often.
I'll do my best.
How about you? Now. So much to learn. An interesting dilemma.
Evening, Laylee.
So much to learn.
How's it going?
My turn.
I'll do my best. Let your wounds be healed.
Victory shall be mine.
Going good. It's going over here. It's going pretty good.
I'm ready. Are you?
Made up my mind about
Time
certain
to
stuff.
show.
Like tomorrow, I'm gonna be
Don't
picking up a
start
bunch of
things you
games
can't
from
finish.
local game shop that I've been meaning to get. Like for example, finally getting my hands on a copy of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I need to get the final Uncharted game. I need to get Bravely Default 2.
I will battle.
Looking forward to it.
I'll not be defeated.
It's gonna be a fun day.
Huh? Glacius Claw
After I
down.
get out of work, of course.
I hope I've grown more able.
Moonbow. Don't we have one of those already? Yeah, we do. Nothing special. Also, there are a bunch of locations in here.
Let us fight with honor.
My turn, huh? Glacius Claw down. I hope I've grown more able.
It's an area to the southwest.
Let us fight with honor.
My turn.
There.
Well, Glacius Claw down. The flame guides us true.
Yeah, Cyrus is going to be having a fun time. Now I think about it. Shouldn't Ulbrick have a support skill for experience increase? Yeah. Extra experience from battles. Why not? Ruins of Eld. Yeah, it's all Ruins of Eld, right? Oh wow, it's a labyrinth. And all that was there was a single chest.
Let us fight with honor.
Hey, big guy.
My turn.
Let's see, what are you?
Well then,
Dark. Alright. Light it is.
Victory shall be mine.
An interesting dilemma. Out of my way.
well then. Let your wounds be healed.
I'm gonna guess that one is
What
axes.
is the logical course of action?
That's probably axes.
The battle is truly joined. Anger not the tiger.
Nope. Rose, maybe?
Victory shall be mine.
It'd be bows. And these things are wind. I believe wind is weak to lightning.
Take this!
Yep.
Now, what next? Now the true lesson begins. Nothing will quiet the storm.
Well then, prepare yourself! Lux Conjureer! I hope I've grown more
Yep.
able.
Sure, Cyrus will get a few level ups in here. That EXP increase. Do some work.
There is no choice.
Out of my way.
They seem to target Ophelia very frequently.
I hope I've grown more able.
Even though she is the most tanky of the whole party. See, that's where I just came from, right? Yeah. And got caught on the stairs.
Let us fight with honor.
Welcome to Nitrous Command! I hope I've grown more able.
I got caught on that little torch. Now this is interesting. These walls seem quite old. Yet they still stand strong. What are these curious patterns? Look how they perfectly aligned. Whatever could they be for?
Aha!
Wait, that's it. Together, the markings illustrate something. Here they billow and swell. An ocean. Blood? It seems to be depicting something overflowing, and yet the depiction is abstract and surreal. Wait, I've seen markings like these somewhere. Of course, the ruins of Heinhungborgien. The runes are being used to paint a picture. Might there not be a hidden message contained within? As if the runes are flowing forth from some kind of gate. I see it. Now. Though I hate to admit it, I fear deciphering this will take more time than I have. I should move on. Or maybe it's not overflowing, maybe it's flowing inward. Did you learn anything about those wall paintings? A little, yes. For example, they clearly date from ancient times. I believe they have a religious significance of some kind. But I saw nothing of them in the teachings of the Sacred Flame. The beliefs in the Age of Legends were quite different from today. It was a time before the religious schism. You mean, even before the Sacred Flame teachings began? Precisely so. An age almost entirely unknown to us. A time when gods and mortals walked together upon the soil. I am blessed indeed to have been given the chance to visit these ruins. They are a scholar's paradise. I'm glad too. It almost feels like I can hear the thoughts of the people who lived long ago. The very breath of the ancients, borne on the wind over these many long centuries, whispering of great and epic tales. So that's obviously where we're supposed to go. What if we head south?
There is no choice.
Out of my way.
Well then. Glacius Quantum! I hope I've grown more able.
Yeah, Ulbrick should have enough JP to learn new skills. Am I getting a phone call from my brother? Hang on.
Flame, protect us! I'll not. Huh? Glacius Quantum! I am not made for such battles. I will battle.
Try this! An interesting guy.
Well then.
Have at you! Stiletto steel.
I'll not. Ah! The nitrous connect. I am not made for such battles.
We here. It couldn't be.
No.
I hope you enjoyed the chill dungeon music for the last few minutes. Let's see. Hi, Chessmaster. Actually, don't worry about answering the field question. You just saw the Von the last stream, and yes, I ruined it. Yeah, Therian is too busted, and I'm going to have to just not use him. The whole thing was voiced. From the video that I looked, they only got him to say 3 lines, but I'm basically going to try to drag it out as much as possible from now on, just to see all the dialogue. Alright. Are these tomes really worth so much? I can assure you that if they become known, they will turn the world of scholarship on its head. It's not surprising to learn that knowledge can be lost with the passage of time. Wars, disasters, and fires have all served to make men forget things they once knew. Ah yes, the great fire that destroyed the Library of Alexandria. Yet, books thought to be gone forever have returned as if from the dead, which implies they were stolen, deliberately kept from the world. Indeed, a almost deplorable crime. And the culprit is this man, Ivan. He would make all knowledge his, and his alone. That is why he hid it away here. Unlike men, books cannot talk. What tales these forsaken tomes would tell? Forsaken, that is exactly the word. To monopolize knowledge in this way is a desecration of scholarship itself. Spoken like a man truly devoted to his trade. It is only proper that an honorable scholar such as you cast his eyes over these pages once more. I intend to do just that. Guess that means it's time to get reading. Statue. Anything down? Shite.
Let us fight with honor.
That was a decent amount of damage. Smack.
Victory shall be mine. The dog fights hard.
My turn now. Let your wounds be healed.
Why do you not die? There we go.
With each battle, I grow stronger. Let us fight with honor.
A different color. Probably weak to ice. Blood Revenant? That's a new one.
Well then.
Victory shall be mine.
I honestly have no idea what he would be weak to.
The stars may fall.
None of those. I probably should have just analyzed him, huh? That might have been the better idea.
Don't wait.
The battle is truly joined.
Well then. Oh, sacred light!
Now, what next? So much to learn.
Ah, you freeze blood. Okay. Yeah.
My turn.
This is why I need to basically hold back with Therian.
you. Time to steal the show.
Yeah.
Don't start things you can't finish.
He's stuck on the SP giving dancing support role. Until further notice for boss fights. He'll help us get AoE casting up.
This is the beginning of your end. I appreciate it, really.
I'll not be defeated. Lux Conjureer!
How about you? The dog bites hard.
Am I done? Didn't even hear my response. Well, I'm not going to say it again. Humph. Guess I'll just swallow this.
Let's try this.
Maybe I'll get lucky and he won't die.
Out of my
Or he'll
way.
do that.
You're too kind. And that's that.
You can fix this. Just go back in the VOD or whatever. Who is this? Hello. Gonna turn into a monster too?
Professor, you truly are every bit as brilliant as old Yvonne said.
I did not come here for false flattery.
Oh, but I was being quite sincere. A shame the purport eludes your grasp.
To think you were the one pulling the strings. The headmaster was merely your puppet all along.
Very astute. Yes, it was I who maneuvered to install him in that position in the first place. To my dismay, he had a willful streak that got in the way.
One might say the fault lies in the person who chose him for the task.
One might say that, yes. Now, let us proceed to the matter at hand. Your search for the original copy of From the Far Reaches of Hell has miraculously led you to me. In finding me, you have displayed some measure of knowledge and acumen.
Join me and we shall rule this world together.
More than anything, you have shown a pure and unrelenting passion for seeking out the truth. I hold that particular quality in the highest regard. What say you, Cyrus?
Here it is.
Will you join me in my research?
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Ridiculous. If that is a jape, it is a poor one.
A jape? What a curious reaction from a scholar like yourself.
That's going on the left side of the screen there.
The wall paintings in this place, did they not pique your interest?
A little bit.
Did your heart not race when you saw the countless lost tomes in my study?
A little bit.
To say I was not intrigued would be a lie.
Of course you were. Yes, any true scholar would feel the same. I must unravel these mysteries. I must have the answers. Your mind, no, your very soul burns with an all-consuming desire to know. That is what separates you from the rest, Cyrus. We
You're so
are
emotive all of a
true
sudden.
seekers of knowledge, you and I. Together, we can unlock all the secrets behind our world.
I'll pass.
How can you refuse? You covet the mysteries of the universe. You yearn to know the truth. Surely you can stand shoulder to shoulder with me.
That's it exactly.
What? What is it?
Surely you. I take issue with your solicitation. You don't care who you use in your schemes. What of Headmaster Yvonne?
Don't be ridiculous. He was devoid of the passion you have. He was nothing but a pawn to the end, incapable of envisioning an ultimate goal.
On what grounds do you base that assumption? Can a man not grow his mind? If you found him wanting, why did you not teach him?
Teach him?
Take him on as your pupil. Impart your vast knowledge, that he might one day be your peer.
True scholar's goal.
Preposterous. You speak the impossible. Mediocrity is as mediocrity does. Knowledgeable as he was, his own actions prevented him from ever approaching genius. A genius such as yourself must understand this.
There's where you and I differ. I haven't given up on mediocrity. As scholars, we learn from the past to better understand the present and pass our knowledge on to the future. What do you mean to do with the knowledge you amass? The secrets you unravel? Carry them to your grave, content they are inscrutable to all who do not possess your genius? You would call them simpletons, fools, feeble minds. I say it is you who lacks the ability to teach and inspire. A true scholar does not look down on others for what they do or do not know. Those who know impart knowledge to those who do not. If something is wrong, those who know the answer correct it. The process repeats, bringing us closer and closer to enlightenment. I teach my students with the expectation that one day they will surpass me. I long for the day when I will have the chance to learn from them.
Enough!
Teacher's way.
I've given you plenty of opportunities to make a move. Any move. But clearly we are going nowhere fast. If you would rather die without discovering the truth, so be it. I have already synthesized a perfect blood crystal, precisely as detailed in the original tome.
Oh boy.
With it, I will cast off the shackles of humanity. A human can only learn so much in its short lifetime. I will gain the time, the power, to understand everything. You may be a fool, but to show no hard feelings, you can participate in an empirical analysis of my newfound power.
Freaky.
If believing in the future makes one a fool, then call me a proud fool. But know this. When I emerge victorious, I will unravel the secrets of that tome and arrive at my own answer. Let this be a lesson to you. The future of mankind is bright. I cannot
Here we go.
fail.
Gotta punch him in the chest. Physical perfection. Oh, okay.
The battle is truly joined.
Okay. Cool shit.
The dog bites hard.
I'll do my best. Let your wounds be healed.
Out of my way.
I don't know if she's gonna do magic or she's gonna do physical, because she doesn't look like a spellcaster anymore. Let's see. Sweep. Yep, that was the right move.
What is the logical course of action? Stars show us mercy.
I'll do my best. Let your wounds
Keep
be
everybody
healed.
nice and healthy. Well, at least even in this form, like a scholar, she'll keep me guessing. Vulnerable to daggers.
Victory shall be mine.
Let's try this.
Death by a
All right.
thousand cuts.
Slowly burning it down. That didn't work.
Well then,
Alright,
let your wounds
now
be
we can
healed.
just neuter her damage real hard for a long time.
Whoop! I'm ready. Are you?
Wallop. Eh.
Now then. Death by a thousand cuts.
Now, what next?
Let's get that BP going.
The battle is truly joined. My blade is unbending. Out of my way.
You're too kind.
Doesn't look like she's going to be having much dialogue.
What next?
Let's see, how much HP do you have?
So much to learn.
It's 75,000?
I'll do my best.
Alright.
Let your wounds be healed.
Let's knock you down past half. I think that'll be a good,
My focus is unparalleled.
good way to handle it.
The stars grant us strength.
Out of my way. I appreciate it. Really.
I'll not be defeated.
Victory shall be mine.
There it is. The fourth weakness has got to be an axe if you remember in order correctly. Well, doesn't matter too much.
Let's do this! Time to steal the show.
Well, that was almost all of his
How
HP.
about you? I think not.
I'll do my best. No, you will not.
Got anything to say for yourself
What is the logic of think not?
before you die? Morphed into a hideous form. Ah, Hellfire.
What is the logical course of action?
Alright.
My focus is unparalleled.
Zap.
Thus ends your lesson.
No! There is so much more I must learn.
Like a monster. Through and through. If nothing else, your devotion to the pursuit of knowledge is admirable. Unfortunately for you, you will not live to pass that on.
Oh,
From the far reaches of hell, last I have the original. How many lives have been lost to the dark knowledge in these pages? But no, evil itself cannot be good or evil, only the hearts of those who would use it. I'll use all the resources at my disposal to decipher this work for myself. And I will find the answer I seek, an answer of my very own. Perhaps one of the tomes in the study I passed through might aid me in deciphering these glyphs. Yes, I should return. Scrutinize the archives in the Ruins of Eld. Ah, we had to get one used to that path action in, huh? Everyone has to use their path action at least once in each part of the story. Basically, the whole fight break her once, and then she has almost all
I've got
physical and
better
weapon
things to
defenses, and
do.
the second one with all magic, and then mix up the
I'll
two
do my best.
categories at random, while still trying. You have to guess each time. Yeah, I got the idea that it was swapping between physical and magical. Interesting setup.
Huh? Glacius Quantum!
Doesn't work against Therian, though.
I appreciate it, really.
Yeah. If she didn't want to die, she would have had dialogue. That's her fault.
Victory! Watch my blade dance. Ah, the thrill of the fight.
Examine. At long last, I can begin to study the tomes in earnest. I obtained High Hornburgian Dictionary. Let's see now. Trial of the 12, Volume 7. An ancient tome detailing how the 12 gods sealed away an unholy power beyond the edge of the world. Ah. Found the link. So far. They're all gonna refer to, what's it called? Galdera, I think? In the pages of this tome, the secrets banished by the gods are likened to a golden fruit, and an anonymously worded warning issued to any who would covet this forbidden power. Forbidden gold? Huh. Forbidden power of the gods has been likened to a golden fruit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna guess every single one of them is going to refer to Galdera in some way.
I've done my research on you.
The god's name is Galdera, right? I'm not just flubbing that.
I appreciate it, really.
I'll do that.
Yeah, that's his name? Okay,
The flame
perfect.
guides us true.
Let's go deciphering that final book. From the far reaches of hell. A tome wherein is writ, in horrifying detail, a forbidden right to bring back the unholy power sealed away beyond the edge of this world. Oh, okay. Most intriguing. Yes, yes, I see. I do believe I have the knowledge I need to decipher the mural. Scrutinize the mural in the Ruins of Eld. I'm guessing that being there is supposed to be Galdera. Then
Out of my way.
maybe those runes are them sealing it away or something. I mean, we're gonna find out. But gotta guess while you can before the secret is completely exposed.
My turn. Lux Ponderil.
No!
I'll not be defeated. Ta!
Yeah, it's like that's not worth it, man.
Victory! With each battle, I grow stronger.
I'll make this quick.
Hey, Burps, how's it going?
No!
What? Try this.
My turn. The nitrous command. The flame guides us true.
Okay, we can still scrutinize them again if we want to, but there's no reason. I was wondering why they were still interactable.
What? This.
The nitrous command. I hope I've grown more able.
Scrutinizing time. Death, doom, destruction. Death, doom, destruction. Death, doom, destruction. Yeah, gotcha. The mural's meaning. Oh, just fair warning, now there may be some things I may not got from the game alone. There's something the game won't tell me. Most intriguing. The mural's meaning.
Now then,
Now let me think through all I've learned. What did the gods do? They sealed power away beyond the edge of the world. Ah, fuck. Yeah. Arm slipped. What forbidden power did the gods seal away? Power of destruction, I think? Nah, not right.
no.
Wait, that's not quite right. It's power of life and death?
But of course.
Indeed, the power of life and death. That was a forbidden secret held within these pages. Trial of the 12 tells the tale of how the 12 gods sealed this power away. The author of the Forbidden Gold compares this power to a golden fruit. Like a golden fruit, it calls out to and tempts the human heart. Into the pages of From the Far Reaches of Hell was this power sealed. These glyphs. Yes, I believe I can decipher them now. Death, 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 death. Doom, 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 doom is eternal. Destruction, 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 destruction. I think we can safely assume this is a warning of sorts. Warning of a calamity that awaits if the gate is opened, the forbidden unleashed. Were the mural and tome left behind as an invitation or a warning? Definitely a warning.
But of course!
Yes, the mural was left behind as a warning, I'm sure of it.
Indeed.
Knowledge in of itself is not inherently good or evil. It can, however, serve either purpose. All depends on the heart of he who would use it. I choose to believe that whoever created this mural so many years ago believed the same. For the sake of our future, be not tempted by the darkness.
Indeed.
Yes, these dark secrets must never be allowed to be put into practice. The mere existence of this tome is a threat. Shall I destroy it and banish its baleful knowledge for all eternity?
Not exactly.
No. Destroying the tome would not banish the darkness that exists in the hearts of man. And as long as this darkness exists, people will find a way to work evil. I must preserve this knowledge, that we might put it to use for good, not evil.
Thusly.
And yet, there is much more I must learn. I must decipher in full the contents of this tome and the murals in this place, and pass them on to those who would follow us. That one day, should we be threatened by forces from the far reaches of hell,
Yes.
our descendants will possess the knowledge needed to protect this realm. First, I must return to Atlasdom and file a report on what I've seen here. Then I must begin my analysis of the material I have collected. Yes, I'll be burning the midnight oil night after night, no doubt, and I can scarcely wait. We travel back to Atlasdom and do stuff. What's her name? Therese?
Professor!
Yeah, got
Professor!
it. Got it, right as it popped up.
Over here, Therese.
That stack of books seems to get bigger every time I see you.
And I'll need twice again as many to have any hope of translating this ancient tome.
Twice as many?
Fascinating, is it not? A traditional fairy tale from a certain region mentioned a gate of sorts. And I could not help but notice a parallel to the mural I found.
Parallels.
I see. Hence, these books on local folklore?
Just so. Considering your subject from all possible angles is a fundamental principle of scholarly research. But I forget myself. Might I surmise that you've come here to inform me that it's time for class?
Yes. You're late, Professor.
Pray forgive me, Your Highness. Very well then, my students. Let us begin. To quote the words of one Susanna Grotoff, author of Knowledge is Light. The pursuit of knowledge is a journey with no destination. As long as people live, there is always something to learn. And so we learn, we record, we speak. Points connect, thus forming our history, our agency, our identity. This world we live in is not for or of any one individual, and neither is knowledge. And so I write and speak of all that I learned, to plant seeds of knowledge that will be harvested by those who follow me. To you who have found my writings, read well these words, that they may help you build a bridge to a brighter future.
Cyrus Finn. Like those end cards. Also, we can complete this person's quest. I completely forgot about this.
Greetings.
Here, I know about a city of gold now. The Legends of the Golden City. This sounds promising. There was once a lord in a distant island nation far to the east, and one day he had a dream. A voice spoke to him and said, "I will grant you one wish." The lord thought it was the voice of a god, so the lord answered without thinking. "Make the city a utopia, where none go hungry, where no one ever grows old or ill." His wish was heard, and overnight the entire city was turned to gold, the good old monkey's paw. And in that city of gold, there were none who went hungry, no old age, and no illness. Do you hear that? Such a wondrous place. Though it still sounds more like fantasy than truth. It has the romantic appeal of a legend, to be sure. Books are such a delight, aren't they? This one is a prime example. Be sure to tell everyone to read it. Thank you for helping me learn more about the City of Gold. I feel so much better now for knowing more. How did I miss that side quest multiple times? I do love reading, don't you? It's such fun to be able to visit your mind in places that you have never been to.
How are you doing today?
Let's see, should we check to see if there's people with new side quests in the castle and academy here? I guess. Oh, hello. I must remain calm and focus on my studies. Oh, that's fantastic. Therese, age 17. Known as the Moon of the Flatlands, she is Princess Mary's distant relative, and has been close with her since childhood. Though she may seem timid at first glance, her true colors show when it comes to matters of the heart. And, yeah, obviously it's going to go right here. Because, let's see, will this max out her? Yeah, she'll have maxed out elemental attack. So it's so high. Is it maxed out without it? No, we're like 29 away from without it. Do we have just enough to put her over the edge? No, we don't. Oh, that's a shame. Well, gotta get max. I'm gonna guess the princess will probably be in the castle. But it doesn't hurt to check the rooms. Why do they still have that dude's picture up? He doesn't deserve to have his picture up here anymore. for obvious reasons. It's only been a quarter, but safe to assume I know what all these endings reveal. I would have put it together when they talked about the Dark Gods, so yeah, everything leads back to Galdera. Which means we're gonna go true JRPG and fight ourselves a fallen god, hell yeah. Good old reliable. Okay, the princess isn't anywhere. Unless she's in the front of the town. All roads lead to the fallen god. To the tavern. What, no banter? Or do I have to swap out to the exact party that I need? Anyway, we just completed Cyrus, so... Next up would be Tressa. Wait, I thought Therian was set up to be a dancer. Who currently has dancer equipped? I feel like I'm going crazy or something. Yeah, I'm going crazy. I mixed up the Dancer and the Starseer classes, because I'm an idiot. I guess they look somewhat similar. Still feel like an idiot, though. Hard worker. Oh, she already has hard worker on, okay. Her elemental attack is slightly higher than her physical attack, but it doesn't help much, sadly. Alright, this will do. Having a little bit of a brain fart here. Alright, where's Tressa's thing? Here we are. Randport. Tressa, Chapter 4. You arrive in Grandport, which is a buzz of excitement over the auction. It is there you finally realize what your true treasure is. The friends you earned along the way. The story so far. In Victor's Hollow, Tressa reunited with Captain Leon Bestrayal. He spoke of a dear friend from his pirating days. told her of the Eldrite, the man's most precious treasure. Tressa ventured out and recovered it, but Leon refused the gift, for he already found his most precious treasure. His friend's old ship, and a new life as a merchant. There's only one room in this one's heart for one true treasure. So what was hers? Tressa realized she still had no answer. Undeterred, she made her way for Grandport, the Eldrite in hand, and so she arrived at the Merchant's Fair.
Whoa!
I can't believe it, I'm finally here! So many NPCs.
Yeah!
I hope you're ready for me, Merchant's Fair. Are we gonna meet, what's his name again? I already forgot his name. The other traitor. But yeah, he said he'd be here. Alright, Laylee, have a good night. This is incredible. There are merchants and treasures from all over the world here. That must be where they hold the auction. Can't wait to see what they have for sale. They've already bought everybody out.
Hey.
Look, it's Mr. Windham.
Oh!
Windham? Like the incredibly wealthy aristocrat?
Aye.
One to say, miss. Rumor has it, he's got enough money to buy himself a small country. Supposedly he invests quite a sum into the fair, too. He's got a hat.
This is an honor.
Welcome, Mr. Windham. Only the rarest and most beautiful treasures have been gathered here. I'm certain you'll find something to your daughter's liking.
Indeed.
I expect so. I'll spend what I must to see her happy. In the highlights of the fair is a competition. Merchants show off their finest pieces to Mr. Windham.
Uh-huh.
And he picks only the very best one to give to his daughter. The reward is 1 billion leaves. That's a decent amount of leaves.
What?
That's like 100 times what we have. 1 billion? Although maybe it might be like 50
Aye.
times at this point if we have 2 million. No, wait. It's 1,000 times more. Incorrect math. They say he invests in the fair just so he can hold the competition. So we have 0.1% of that. I guess all that money touching your noggin eventually. I'll get it. At least his daughter's happy. Though it does make me wonder how he chooses a winner. The best salesman. Well, color me curious. Will the Eldrite do the trick? If I prove myself here, I'll know this journey wasn't for nothing.
All right!
Guess there's only one way to find out. I'll go sneak a peek at the competition.
Oh no!
It's a daughter, isn't it?
Are you all right? Yes, thank you. But please don't worry yourself. I can walk on my own 2 feet. Okay. If you say so. Ah!
Can't even walk
Are you
10
sure
feet
you're okay?
without tripping over yourself.
Here, have some water. Thank you so much for your kindness. You don't have to thank me. I'm Tressa, by the way. I'm a traveling merchant. A traveler? I'm Noah. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Miss Tressa. You don't have to be so formal. Tressa works just fine. I see. Tressa. See? That's not so hard. How are you feeling, by the way? Better, thank you. I thought I can make it just a bit further. My legs have always been weak, you see, so I never strayed too far from home. Aww. But I've always longed to see the world. I just know there are countless, wonderful things out there waiting to be discovered. This girl reminds me of me. But the rest of the world was always out of reach. Eventually, I realized that my dream would forever be just a dream. I came here by sheer willpower alone. I hoped I'd find something to help make my dreams come true. Something precious I'd treasure forever. Treasure?
Oh!
My lady, there you are. Lady?
Gil!
Sorry, worried you, Gil. And who is this young woman?
Tressa.
Name is Tressa. She lent me her aid.
Oh!
My word, Miss Tressa. You have my deepest gratitude. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Gil, and I am in service of the Windham family. Thought so.
What?
The Windham family?
I'm sorry.
I'd love to repay you for your kind deed, but I'm afraid we must be on our way. Let us make for the auction hall, my lady.
Thank you so
Of course,
much.
Gil. Thank you again, Teresa.
Take care.
I'm just glad you're alright. See you around, Noah. She'll be fine.
Noah.
Noah is the daughter of Mr. Windham, which means she's who this whole competition is for. Dad. What's with the Catwoman get up? Your banter.
May the sacred flame shine upon you.
May the flame shine its warmth upon her. Ophelia, are you praying for Noah? I am. I do not think our meeting was happenstance. Fate played its hand. I want her to know happiness. It took a lot of courage for her to come this far. This goes to show that money can't solve everything. Indeed, we all have our own troubles and cares. And things we treasure. Yes. I can't say I know exactly what Noah is searching for, but I sure hope she finds it. As do I. Scuttle, scuttle.
What to do?
Treasure, treasure everywhere.
Oh,
Oh, that's how Sedeti tableware.
whoa!
And there's Wren towels, crimson gems, gold coins from Bellman. You really can't find anything at the fair. Sir, I sell produce. I better write all this down before I forget. Black dress, red eyes. Yeah, that definitely doesn't scream evil. Excuse me, miss. Oh, hello. Can I help you?
It can't be.
I feel like I've seen that notebook somewhere before. Would you mind showing it to me? Just a little more if you don't mind. Sure. By the way, I didn't get your name. Finally, my search is over. Your search?
Yes.
Please accept this and thanks. Hey, it's mine. Not anymore, little girl. A word of advice before I go. Forget you ever saw this book. It's for your own good.
Darn!
Wait. My notebook. I have to get it back. What a jerk. Where'd she go? What's going on? Hey, look who it is. What the heck is that thing? What are all those people doing there?
Your attention, please?
Your attention, ladies and gentlemen. You won't want to miss what's coming up next. I know that voice.
Gather round!
Ali, yeah. It's a first-class item for a first-class lady like yourself.
How splendid!
Well, it does sound quite spectacular.
Oh!
It is Ali! Here it is, folks. The magnificent, fortuitous carpet of House Kafka. For those of you who don't know, let me tell you the tale of this particular piece. The Kafkas are famous aristocrats from the north.
And then?
Several decades ago, a craftsman presented the family with a very special carpet. From the moment it adorned their halls, their lives were forever changed. Business boomed and profits soared, and eventually they were blessed with 6 beautiful children. It seemed as though the more memories the family made together, the more their happiness grew. Their luck both at work and at home was greater than ever before.
Actually.
And this is the very carpet that welcomed good fortune into their lives.
Ooh.
They said it.
So?
Who knows? With this in your own home, your luck could change for the better just like the Kafkas. I'll start the bidding at a mere 10,000 leaves.
Most excellent!
I'll give you 15. I'll pay 20,000. Sold.
Come again.
Thank you, thank you. That merchant sure has a way with words. He could make a handful of sand look like gold.
Most assuredly.
Tell me about it. He even made me want that carpet. Another prosperous day.
Long time no see.
Fancy meeting you here. Glad to see you haven't changed a bit, Ali. And you are...
Hey!
Tressa, remember? We met in Quarry Crest.
Green pea.
I'm just pulling your leg, Green Pea. How's business?
Is something wrong?
Something the matter? You're not still mad I stole all your customers, are you?
Actually,
No, it's not that. My notebook.
What?
Your notebook was stolen.
oh,
Uh-huh. What kind of person would steal someone else's notebook? It's not funny, it was important to me. There's probably some like hidden notes in it or something on the blank pages. That woman said it was in my own interest to forget about it. Plot thickens. Well, I suppose I move enough merch for one day.
huh?
Hey now.
I'm going to help you look for your notebook. I have a debt to repay after all.
Ali. Thanks.
I guess you're not such a bad guy after all. You call that praise? You got a long way to go, Green Pea. Enemy spotted. Chase. That's her. Where?
Ah!
Over there. Follow me. Make for the bazaar. That's definitely her. I'd recognize her anywhere. What a strange woman. What would she want with your diary? Quiet! As if they're not in open view. Esmeralda. I retrieved the notebook.
Well, well.
Excellent work. Now, let us leave this town at once. Black clothing. Yeah, definitely not evil. My thoughts exactly. Oh yeah. Black and red. Classic, just like that other dude. Didn't really think about that. Although I'm sure when he mentions it, as he most certainly will, I have a bad feeling about those two. We'll leave the way we came. Secret
So
back
what
room
now?
in the auction house. What are you gonna do, Green Pea? What else? Get my notebook back. Are you coming or not? Lead the way. I've gotta get my notebook back.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you all for joining us today. The showcase, sponsored by the gracious House Windham, will begin shortly. Only one piece is allowed per entrant. The lucky winner of the show will be awarded 1 billion leaves. Merchants, please prepare your entries. That's right, the showcase.
Green Pea.
Are you entering, Green Pea?
Yeah!
Got that right. And here's my winning entry. Ta-da!
Whoa!
Eldrite? How'd you get your hands on something that rare?
So,
Let's talk business, eh? Nope, not for sale. Keep dreaming, Ali. It's worth a shot. But you know, you might actually win with this. Maybe you're not such a Green Pea after all. Something about it feels different. Were you robbed of it too? Different? How? It's fake. Rules Eld, right? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's just my imagination. Anyway, first things first, we need to find that woman.
Of course.
Right. Where you at? There they are.
Now then.
All right. Leave it to me.
Huh?
What are you going to do? I'll lure him away so you can follow that woman.
What?
I can't let you do that. It's too dangerous.
I am a one-man army.
You didn't forget, I'm Ali, the one-man army. Yeah. That worked out so well the last time. I'll see that debt repaid one way or another, Tressa.
Oh no!
Lee. Smooth exit, Ali. Now to get down to business.
Hello there.
Pardon me, sir, madame.
Ugh.
What is it, kid? I know I don't look like much, but I'm a renowned merchant in these parts. I was hoping I could have a moment of your time. Out of the way, we're busy.
Actually,
It won't take long, I promise. I'm actually quite interested in that pocket watch of yours, sir.
That's so.
Oh, really?
ugh.
Did you forget we're in a hurry? That's Zikarat's watch, if I'm not mistaken. The King of the East, he was, and prized that very timepiece above all others. His famous words were, "Nothing is more precious than time. Time kept and time spent."
All right!
Good going, Ali.
That's so.
A well-versed merchant. I see. However, this is hardly my most remarkable watch. You know, my time is precious too.
Indeed.
My apologies, madame. Why don't we talk over there, sir? I have something that might be of great interest to you.
That's so.
Do tell.
Ugh.
Who knew watches could be so time-consuming? Eh. Thank you, Ali.
It's my turn now!
Yep, make for the Grand Port sewers. Banter. Do you think he'll be alright? Are you worried for the lad? Of course, he's putting himself into danger all for my sake. He swore he would pay his debt. I know, but... And I believe him a man of his word. His pride won't stand for owing me anything, that's for sure. I just hope he doesn't get himself hurt. As do I. Whether you fret or not, he will do what he has set his mind to. I guess you're right, and he is tougher than he looks. Eh.
I will battle.
A lot of banditos in the sewers.
I'll do my best.
Obsidian Executive. Oh. Of course.
Yeah.
The Obsidians are back. Why wouldn't they be?
Out of my way. I appreciate it. Really?
I mean, they're all wearing the same black cloaks.
Now then, I will cut you down!
Yeah, they're all vulnerable to holy.
Let's do this! The stars fall upon you!
Oh, huh.
Have at you! Out of my way!
Out of my way.
Let's do this! I'll do my best. Yeah.
Don't play fire.
Oh, that was the last person I wanted unconscious.
My blade is unbending! Death by 1,000 cuts!
Here I go! How was that?
Remind you, what is obsidian? Obsidian the group or obsidian the stone? Obsidian is usually a pitch black stone that's made from lava. At least that's what I think it is. It could be incorrect. Let's see. I know it's a black stone, but how is it created? It's the very smooth black stone. A naturally occurring volcanic glass. Okay, so yeah. Volcanic glass. It's produced when felsic lava is extruded from a volcano and it cools rapidly with minimal crystal growth.
Flame, protect us! My turn now!
I like collecting some occasional stones. I'm surprised I don't have a chunk of obsidian in my room. It's fitting for such a group as big as this.
My turn.
Now then,
Now what is the missing link? Axes, I think?
anger not the tiger.
On them.
I'll not be defeated. Yeah.
Pretty sure I tried all types of things on them.
Out of my way.
You want to watch the world burn? I mean, hey, that's completely, that's a completely fair guess in that part. Pitch black and just want to watch the world burn. Definitely fitting. Can agree with you on that. Imperial Helm. Is it good, though? No, not really.
Let us fight with honor.
Gooey slug.
There.
Yeah. I completely forgot. I could just use Ulbrick's ultimate attack. That'll, attack with every single thing. Every single weapon type.
Let's do this! The stars fall upon you!
So vulnerable to holy.
Now then.
My turn now.
Whirling attack.
No, you don't.
My turn.
Have at you. I think not. Now then. My blade is unbending!
Oh, he doesn't have it yet.
Loose the arrows. With each
How much
battle,
JP does he
I grow
have?
stronger.
He has... Where is it? 6,000. I think that's enough to earn it. I believe it was 6,000 exactly for it, right? It's 5,000 exactly. Here we go. Legion Dagger. That's a new one. Is it good, though? Physical attack and evasion. Huh. Two different paths?
This is the beginning of your end. Out of my way.
Oh, hey, we found that dude's last weakness. Sweet.
Try this.
Roundhouse.
Victory shall be mine.
I'll do my best. Let your wounds be healed.
The battle is truly joined.
Why does nothing work? What are they vulnerable to? I really should just reclass somebody to a Skull or some, just for this specific purpose. Or use Cyrus. That's also a viable tactic.
The flame guides us true.
Single box. Force shield. Didn't we get one of those before? Yeah, we did. 102 and minus 69 evasion. So better physical defense, but worse elemental defense. Oh, I missed this. Wind Soulstone. Didn't really matter. Another Thunder Soulstone. To the pile.
I'll make this quick. My turn.
My turn now. My turn now.
Victory shall be mine.
Daggers, maybe? Yep.
The battle is truly joined. Stiletto of steel.
Over here.
Oh no! The stars fall upon you.
I'm ready. Are you? Time to steal the show. Where's the nearest tavern?
I wonder, which subclass would give Darien the most speed? If any would actually adjust it. A phone call went through? From who? Oh, from my brother again. Why is he calling me? It's 11:40 where I am. It's a little late. Looks like Dancer is probably the best. Accidental meta. Scourge Lance. Oh hey. Better Elemental Glaive. Maybe I'll eventually get a better Elemental Dagger.
Flame, protect us! Let's do this!
I appreciate it, really.
Lux Conjureer! The flame guides us true.
Robe of the Dragon. We have one of those already. Is it mediocre? Yeah, it's mediocre. Gives high crit, but its defensive stats leave a little bit to be desired.
This is the beginning of your end.
Darkness.
Have at you.
Oh yeah, this guy's vulnerable to axes.
Out of my way.
Oh, he's vulnerable to daggers. Okay.
I hope I've grown more able.
But they're usually vulnerable to axes.
I'll make this quick.
Look,
My turn.
Thunder Curator Mark II.
Well then.
Now then. Out of my way!
Eh. There's nothing to Ophelia.
Here I go!
That's what maxed out magic defense gets you.
My turn. The flame guides us true.
Fact. Oh, it's probably because this robe is just so good. Because it gives 282 elemental defense. Yeah. I want to see what would happen if I exchange for something else. I'd rather keep the max defense.
Let us fight with honor.
Along with the buff. Because buffs scale. So you want to keep those.
Well then.
Now then.
Here I go! The winds of fortune are howling!
My turn.
There.
I'll not be defeated. Ah!
Spears and axes.
My turn now! Yeah!
Victory shall be mine. Out of my way.
Yep. Well, it's the third turn. Time to die.
Let's do this. Time to steal the show. And that's that.
And Ulbrick can finally go into that house. What a useless book. You're the one who stole it. I didn't think I wasted all that precious time looking for it. Well, if it isn't the little girl from earlier. Don't tell me you came to get the notebook back.
Yeah!
That's right. I thought I told you to forget about it. I'm not going to forget something so important to me. Important, you say? How much do you know about this notebook exactly?
And also...
Who wrote this book? Where did he or she come from?
The fact is...
Ignorance is bliss, little girl. Trust me.
But...
Even if I don't know, it's still important to me. It's been with me on my whole journey.
Ugh.
Save me the sob story, kid. You can have it back.
Really?
No. It's useless to me anyway. And because you're so attached to it, I'll even let you take it to your grave. Like to see you try.
The fact is...
You've been nothing but a thorn in my side, so I'm going to nip you in the bud.
What?
I think the thorn here is you, lady. You stole my notebook and now you're going to return it and let me walk away. And before you leave, let me give you a word of advice. Don't underestimate the power of this merchant. You have no idea what you're dealing with, kid.
You won't move willingly.
Daggers.
My turn now.
Red blade. You are unable to attack, huh?
The battle is truly joined.
That's disgusting.
My turn.
He has decent attack. That's why we debuff her.
What to do? The stars fall upon
Wind and holy. That's expected.
Well then.
Stas too.
Victory shall be mine. I think not. witchery.
It's my turn now.
Defensive. Well, we can actually undo that. So,
The stars heal the weak.
Now then.
on the vulnerability.
I'll not be defeated.
This lady also doesn't have dialogue, which is disappointing. I'm not going to use Therion's busted attacks, though. I'm going to slowly whittle her down.
Lux Conjureer!
Let's do this! Be in awe.
Let's... The sun's light purifies.
The battle is truly joined.
But look who's free.
Our blade is unbending! Windhild fights with us!
I like that attack.
Here I go! The cosmos empowers the weary.
Yeah, and right as she gets her turn, shackled.
My turn now.
And healed.
Let your wounds be healed.
Shifts her weight.
My turn now. The stars fall upon you. Well then, let your wounds be healed.
Now then.
Bane daggers. Or spears. Magics
The
mostly?
battle is truly joined.
He gets probably a lot of magics.
Out of my way. Don't play.
No? Arrows probably. If you don't act fast, this wound will prove fatal.
Well then,
That's interesting. So it's Doom. Except not on a actual timer because not ATB. That is interesting. I kind of like that. Unique effect. I wonder if we can cure it. I don't think we have anything that might allow it. Except for maybe Alphen. But he's not here, so... Whack. So Therion will die at the end of this turn. Oh, we don't have a apothecary to cure that either. Sweet.
I won't hold back.
Let's try this. You've never used this yet.
I summon Steora, Lady of the Stars.
Orange juice explosion.
Well then, have this.
Victory shall be mine. My blade is unbending. Windhild fights with us!
Swords and arrows.
What to do?
I could still easily just end this with Ophelia.
Have at you!
I will let Tressa get all the fun, but I don't think she'd be able to kill her. Yep. You're up, Ophelia.
Prepare yourself.
Divine Smite. Max damage, but without the
flame
increase.
guides us true.
Good enough. We got a rune knife too for our trouble. Do we have a rune knife? I don't think we do.
What?
No. Eaten by a little girl? Told you not to underestimate me. I'll take this. Fine.
Phew.
Ugh.
Why would you go through so much trouble for a stupid book? It's my stupid book. It's just an old diary.
You see,
Don't get it. This book is...
I came here by sheer willpower alone. I hoped I'd find something to help make my dreams come true. Something precious I'd treasure forever.
The notebook is her treasure. My treasure. That's right. So what happened with the other dude? Getting arrested?
Tressa.
You okay?
yes.
Fine, thanks. And you? See for yourself. Damn that boy. I heard he was a wanted criminal, so I handed him over to the guards. Really saved the day, Ollie.
By the way,
Well, that's to be seen. Did you get your book back?
Yeah.
Clappity clap. Sounds like the showcase is starting.
Here we are.
This is the Kismet Doll. I'm thinking, like, as Esmeralda stole the book, probably thinking it was something similar to, like, all the books that were in Cyrus's part of the story. Something involving that. Of course. Kismet trees are among the rarest in the realm. They're known to bring good fortune in marriage. This doll was made from the trunk of that tree. Alongside it comes a legend. The one who holds the doll will meet their soulmate.
Why,
A real Kismet doll. Never thought I'd see one with my own eyes.
whoa!
First the snowdrop gown, then the Niz tiara, now this? I don't know how Mr. Wyndham decides. I wish I had his problems. Instead, some of us have to sell our souls just for a chance at that prize money.
Now then.
I wonder what'll catch Mr. Wyndham's fancy this year.
Spectacular!
Just listen to that crowd. Hope you're not nervous. It's almost your turn. You only got one chance to win the judge's favor. Did you polish up your Eldrite?
Well,
I'm not entering the Eldrite. And dialogue time.
What?
Oh. What? You can't be serious. I am.
What's the matter?
But why? The Eldrite is rare and beautiful, of course, but I want to offer something my customer desires. I want to give them something they can truly treasure. That's the kind of merchant I want to be.
Actually,
There's something I want to give to Noah. Something I think she could truly treasure.
Well, well.
And I can't wait to see what you've got up your sleeve, Tressa. You won't be disappointed. It's the book, isn't
Now
it?
then.
Well, you better hurry. It's bad manners to keep your customers waiting. Spotted that money. Make for the stage in the bazaar. Tressa Colzione. This way, please.
Tressa.
Good luck out there,
thanks.
Ollie.
And now for our next entrant,
Now we got voices.
Tressa Colzione.
Tressa?
A kid? Here's hoping she won't disappoint.
Just Googling something.
Hello, my name is Tressa, and I'm a traveling merchant. Today, I brought something very special to me. An anonymous notebook. I grew up in a small port town as the daughter of 2 merchants. Sometimes I'd gaze out at the ocean and think to myself, what do I really want to do? What do I really want in life? And then I came across this notebook. It was written by someone whose name I don't know. Someone who traveled across the world and wrote down everything about their journey. I decided then and there that I wanted to go on a journey too, so I left home. I wanted to explore the world as a merchant and learn the trade as I went. And along the way, I met some unforgettable people. In a mining town, I met another merchant around my age. His words had the power to touch people's hearts and make them happy. It was like magic. After I moved on to the next town, I ran into an old acquaintance. He was the captain of a merchant ship and the one who originally gave me the book. There, he taught me something very important. He told me that there could only be one truly precious treasure in someone's life. So I searched and searched until I finally found it. What's truly precious to me is this journey. I've written all about it here, in these pages. I can tell you for a fact that there are countless wonderful things out there waiting to be discovered. And just like this nameless traveler allowed me to realize my dreams,
What a cliche conclusion.
I hope that my travels can help someone realize their own. Which is why I want to give you this book. Noah. Tressa.
Who would want something so useless?
Who said that?
Does she have any idea where she is?
In all my years, I've never seen something so embarrassing.
Get down here and say it to the party's face.
Oh, someone get her off the stage!
Tressa!
I'll take it.
Did he just... Is he serious?
Mr. Wyndham, sir. Pardon me, but... Are you absolutely certain?
Yes.
It's what the daughter wants.
I don't go back on my word.
It's what'll make her happy. It's all for her.
Now, please, bring me that diary. I would like to present it to my daughter.
Now then.
My apologies for asking, sir, but... why did you choose this diary? You see, my daughter...
Tressa.
Hello, Tressa.
Noah.
The fact is...
I wanted to help her see the world as best I could, so I bought her the greatest treasures of the realm. But I could tell it was never enough. However, when this young merchant stepped onto the stage and spoke of her travels, that was the first time Noah ever said she wanted something.
To tell you the truth,
When I heard about your journey, Tressa, I felt like I was traveling the world with you. My heart never wanted the story to end.
I am most grateful.
Young lady, I can't thank you enough. I hope this will suffice for your diary. Can't accept that. I can't accept all that money.
What?
But are you a merchant or not? This is a fair trade, Tressa.
You see...
My customer has something she can treasure forever. That's more than enough reward for me.
However...
I understand your sentiment, but I can't let you go without recompense. Okay, it's too much for me to handle now, but maybe I'll need it down the road someday. I'd like to save it for then.
Very well.
Understood. I'll prepare a memorandum. If you're ever in need of it, please do not hesitate to let us know.
Can't thank you
Thank
enough.
you, sir. Tressa? If you don't mind, I'd like to hear more about your journey.
All right.
And I'd love to tell you all about it. At Noah's behest, Tressa spoke of her travels across the realm. She recounted every tale, one by one, with a fond smile. You would have taken it all there and then. I probably would have too, to be perfectly honest. Although Leaves has a weird exchange rate with the dollar, so it's hard to say exactly how much a billion Leaves is. But a billion, I'm sure, would be a decent amount. It's probably not like Venezuela, at least.
Huh?
I've made up my mind, Tressa. I want to travel the world on my own 2 feet. Just like you did.
Noah.
Complete that journal.
Thank you so much.
I'll treasure this notebook forever, Tressa. And someday I'll write my own stories in here. About my own journey. I want to be the first to read it.
Indeed.
I promise, you will be.
Faring well, are ye?
Excuse me, young lady. I must say, you put on quite the show there.
Thanks.
There we go. Thank you, sir. I suppose I should introduce myself. I dedicated many years of my life to creating something. He's a diarist. Something that became a precious treasure to you.
Huh?
You mean you made that notebook?
The fact is...
Does his sprite have a monocle on it? The writer was someone else, though. I gave it to him a good 10 years ago. Went by the name Graham Crossford.
You don't say.
Graham Crossford. He's the one whose travels I've been reading about. I don't recognize the name.
Yeah.
That's right. That man saved my life. He was just about to head off on a journey. He didn't know where his travels would take him. So I told him he ought to keep a record of where he'd been. I spent 40-odd years making notebooks. 10 years ago, ain't that a coinky-dink? Which one had stuff going on 10 years ago? I can't remember. But there wasn't anyone else's journey I wanted to hear about as much as his. Writing in a diary comes from the heart. And there was no one with a heart as great as his. When you spoke about your own travels, I thought I saw some of you in him, or some of him in you. Yeah. It was like you were in love with that notebook.
Well then.
If you ever met Graham, could you tell him something for me? Got another diary for him, just waiting to be filled. Pretty sure that's when Alphen was saved and Primrose's father was murdered.
So what are you going to do now?
It's like that thing where you search your birthday and find out every single event that happened on it, right? Except in this case, it's some date 10 years ago. Or a span of time 10 years ago.
Huh.
A lot of stuff happens over the course of a year.
I think I'll go back home. I've experienced so many things on this journey. It was filled with so many moments that can't be contained in a diary. I traveled and traded across the land and met amazing people along the way. And when I stood on that stage, I realized I did what I set out to do. I want to tell my parents that. I can't wait to see the look on their faces.
Home, huh?
How about you, Ollie?
It's probably time for me to head home too.
What town are you from
My
again?
father's waiting for me. I finally saved up enough money for him to open up shop again.
So, who's the better merchant between you two?
I'd like to think I am.
You think not? It may also be Ophelia becoming orphaned and the fall of Hornburg. All of it happened 10 years ago. It's fate, right? It's gotta be fate.
Hey, Tressa?
Yeah?
And the Dragonstone's being stolen.
Next time we meet,
We'll see who's the better merchant, right?
wrong. Next time, I hope you're a little more refined.
What?
See, you're like a sky stone. One that could use a bit more polishing.
Hey!
See you around, Tressa.
You can call her Green Pea. Totally crushing on her. Yeah.
Now then. My journey isn't over yet. I'll be there soon.
That was how I met Tressa. She gave me this diary to fill with my own memories. I know that somewhere out there, she's bringing happiness to others just as she did to me. And someday, I hope to follow in her footsteps. Noah Wyndham.
What a wholesome ending to the story. Tressa, Finn. Hey, look, a new quest. Is this the princess? What are you doing over here? Oh, hey, banter. Tell me, Ulbrick, how do you keep your skills as sharp as you do? Ah. Okay, so these are like the skits. I needed to double check this. That was the thing I was Googling earlier. I wanted to see if I could find all the combinations so I could do them all. Tell me, Ulbrick, how do you keep your skills as sharp as you do? Well, each day I practice various sword strokes, and do exercises to build my strength. The closest thing to Galdera is that diary. The closest thing to Galdera is the Obsidian group that was, linked. And yeah, they were looking for that diary for some reason. Well, not that diary specifically, they were looking for a certain book. It just so happens to be the same group that, that Ophelia dealt with, right? He meant on Tressa's part. I don't know. I'm curious to see how exactly that one, was it Red Eye? How that's linked to Galdera. I'm curious about that. But we'll find out eventually. Yes. Well, each day I practice various sword strokes and do exercises to build my strength. I always work on the fundamentals, for these are the foundations upon which all fighters must build. Wise choice. About you, Therian? Do you do any training? Nope. Never was one for practice's sake. For me, experience is the best teacher. I see. I have an idea. Let's say we train together. Didn't you hear what I just said? A man cannot achieve such remarkable agility just by sitting in the alehouse. So he must train. And yet he claims otherwise. The question is, why? Look, I think training together is a splendid idea. In fact, I think I'll join you. What's the expression? Two's company and three's even better? Something like that? Fine. But just this once, okay? It's a deal. Then let us go outside and begin. Comedy. Alright. Change party. We're gonna swap out Cyrus for Tressa for obvious reasons. Prisons first. Powering earring. Mediocre. Scrutinize. Princess Mary, age 17. A bright young woman known as the Sun of the Flatlands, said to be an even greater beauty than her mother, the Queen. She dedicates her days to her education in hopes of better serving her people in the future. The answer may surprise me more than I think. I mean, I can't remember. I think you also said something about being surprised at Honnet's Chapter 3, and I was honestly very, very disappointed. I mean, yes, it was nice, it was wholesome, but aside from getting a MacGuffin, not much happened. Oh, what a surprise it is to meet you here. Pray do not tell anyone of my identity. It would not do for anyone to know that the Crown Princess of Atlasdom is abroad like this. The truth is that I came to meet the great scholar, Professor Paul. He was my tutor when I was a young child. And he is on his way back here now. Professor Paul has been traveling around an island nation off the mainland for the sake of his research. It's been a decade since he left these shores, but today, at last, the ship bearing him is due at this harbor. There goes the music. The real ploy was the guy talking to Honnet. Talking about the dude who doesn't talk much, who is crushing on her. Turns out he's ex-Obsidian. Oh, okay. Neat. To free every hand to the sea, a great ship has foundered in the harbor. To your boats! We need every boat we've got to help the people. They won't make it long among those waves. No, it cannot be. Forgive me, but I must go find out more. Here she goes. So begins the tale of Princess Mary, Redo. It's just as I feared. It appears that Professor Spall's ship that went down. Professor Paul, please be alright. Do we have to go to the Undertow Cave? Is that what we're going to have to do? Gotta go? Alright, Chessmaster. See you later. Let's see, can we get evasive maneuvers? Slap Starseer on ya. Yeah, Rune Knife, that's new. It's better than the Soul Knife. I'm just gonna be sure. Yep, Undertow Cave. Let's go complete that, and we can call it a night there. We'll just run from all the fights. Nothing here is worth fighting, really. Not that there's anything in that cave unless it's a Kate. I remember this cave being a disappointment. Guess there's just more than meets the eye. Yeah, here you are. Never let the ship I was on go down. Worst of all, I have no idea where I am any longer. Well, that's not gonna be a problem. Scrutinize. Paul, age 49, a former tutor of Princess Mary. In recent years, he has traveled to lands beyond Ostera, that he may study foreign cultures and their governing philosophies. His students praise not only his wisdom, but his warm disposition and open mind. I'll lead you to Princess Mary. The Church of the Sacred Flame has a long history, at one point even holding political sway. Well, we're not worrying about that right now. What the heck was that? Oh. That's the case of Maya. The long name threw me off for a second. We're here. Professor Paul. Yes? Who might you... No, Your Highness. Yes, it's me, Mary. I'm so relieved to find you alive and well. What a shock, my goodness. I should hardly have recognized you. Even in my dreams, I could not have imagined you had grown to such a fine lady. Not the wild little princess that I knew, using broken branches as play swords as she ran unchecked about the royal gardens. Please, sir, let's keep the tales of the past in the past, if you do please. I have felt more keenly in the 10 years that have passed since I left this continent until this moment. Such a long time it does feel like now. I wonder if you still recall, Professor, a certain event when you lost one of your precious books? Of course I remember it. I had only meant to play a prank. I had hidden that precious tome of yours in one of the palace's chimneys. What a misfortune it was. That should have been on that very day the chimney sweeps came to do their duty. It was spring, and so I hadn't thought there was any chance anyone would set a fire. Still, the book ended up so awfully coated with soot it could never be read again. When I tried to apologize to you, you told me this. If you regret your actions, then there is no need for me to scold you further. But I hope you'll promise me 2 things. The first, that you will never do such a thing again. And the second, that you will take this empty tome and fill it with your own words. Another diary. Write down all that you learned from this day onward, and when you have filled this entire volume, return it to me. I look forward to the day when I will get to read about all that you will learn in life, my princess. I still remember every word of that conversation as though it were only yesterday. Yet it was more than 10 years ago now. How the time does fly. I've kept both my promises, Professor Paul. This belongs to you. This book. So you truly did complete it. You have learned a great deal in these 10 years. Now I understand very well the grace and wisdom in your eyes. Looking at the worn pages of this volume, I can tell exactly how hard it is that you've been working all this time. Everything I am today is thanks to the wonderful tutors I have had, like you, Professor Paul. I owe you my eternal gratitude for saving the professor. So glad that I was able to see my promise fulfilled. Absolute Zero Staff. That sounds interesting. Increases ice damage dealt. But by how much? Funnily enough, my elemental attack is still at 999 with it. Which means I can equip this basically for free. No issues. And then I can give that better wand to somebody else who needs it, like him. Or whoever will be using it. So now our ice attacks are just extra strong. So good. Alright, so now we're on to the next O, which would be Ulbrick. Ulbrick's quest is all the way over here in Riverford. But we will do that next time because it's currently close to 1 o'clock? It's 12:30. It's pretty late. Too late for me, at least. Wait, who are you?
Fair and well.
I'm farming by trade, but hunting's my passion. My latest undertaking is a search for the lost loot of House Landar. The Landars are high-born folk of this town, and they're famed for hoarding treasure. Finding their hidden loot will be my ticket to the exclusive Legion of Gentlemen Discoverers. We can already complete that quest. What? Passionate Youth, age 24. A devoted farmer and seeker of lost treasures. When searching for valuables, he has no choice but to leave his fields untended, so he cultivates crops which will not suffer if untended for a time. However, while they are indeed quite hardy, they are ill-suited for consumption. I guess I'll give him the journal. This notebook belonged to the Landar family. Give. Here. Secret hiding place. That must be where the treasure lies. So I was right all along. I tell near everyone that I meet that I'll be a great treasure hunter. But most folk just laugh. Stop the idle dreaming and live in the real world, they say. But being a treasure hunter is all about dreaming. It's the nature of the trade. Mayhap it was just a childish fancy that I'd done better to forgot when I grew to be a man. But I don't see how I could. Might as well tell a man to stop loving. Today's the day I leave farming behind and become the treasure hunter I was meant to be. And it's all thanks to you. We'll meet again, friend. Out there on the winding roads. And that is the Hidden Hoard. Alright. Where exactly is the tavern, just so I have an idea? Oh yeah, you. Can't do anything with you, which is incredibly suspicious. Also, there's like 2 locations we can technically go. Right? What was up here again? Man's Gardens. Yeah, there's that all the way up there, and then there's this area to the lower right. Well, we have our party, so next time it's Ulbrick's turn to get revenge on the guy who orchestrated the destruction of his kingdom, I guess. That seems like it'll be a very good conclusion. Till next time.